It's still the conversation, and this is the Lagos segment where we have meaningful dialogue that shapes Lagos, which we all live in. Today's focus is a topic that lies at the heart of democratic progress and people-centered governance. Lagos government policy on inclusive governance. As Africa's largest growing city, fastest growing city, Lagos is home to a vibrant mix of people, youth, women, the elderly, persons with disability, and ethnic minorities. But are all these groups truly included in decision making, planning, and development processes? Are these policies in place reflective of the diversity Lagos represents? And to have this discussion with us, we have a political and public affairs figure, Prince Kelvin Nwaoha, a respected politician, public policy observer, and social commentator. I'm sorry, did I pronounce your name properly?
Today, you pass.
Today I pass.
Today, you pass.
Okay. Prince Nwaoha, thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much.
Okay, let's begin, let's start from the basics. What exactly is inclusive governance, and why is it important for a state, for a dynamic state like
a
Lagos?
Cosmopolitan state.
Like Lagos.
Like Lagos.
Yes.
Good morning, viewers. My name is Prince Kelvin Nwaoha, KSM, like she has introduced me. Reacting to your question, Lagos is a cosmopolitan state, a state that houses not only Nigerians, the whole of Africa. Yes. Lagos is a special state with special futures. And the good thing about it is that those who laid the democratic foundation of Lagos State for now, if I should refer back to 1999, Bola Ahmed Tinubu did a very good roadmap in making sure that almost all the tribes, major tribes per se, that lives in Lagos are included in governance.
Okay.
You will recall that in 1999, 2003, we had Engineer Ibokwe as APC publicity secretary of the party.
Yes.
That is AD. Political party. We transformed to ACL before we came to ACN and APC.
APC.
You will also recall that we also, 2007, 2011, we also had our brother, Ben Akabweze, as Commissioner for
Finance,
Budget and Planning. And a lot of other ones, maybe not being pronounced as it is on this particular strata I'm talking about. If you also look at the local governments, we also have local governments where we have positions like the vice chairman, councillors, SSAs, SAs. So, without mixing words, I would say that Bola Ahmed Tinubu laid a very good foundation. And those governors after him has really done well in seeing that these people, not only Igbos, Arewas, North Central, South, today we have a Gube as Deputy Chief of Staff to the present governor. So ordinarily, without maybe singing anybody's praise, the issue there is that Lagos State is #1 state in almost all things happening political-wise. So as an Igbo man, I'll be glad to tell you that in terms of inclusiveness, they're just too good.
Okay, sorry, let me continue with where he just stopped. You said as an Igbo man. I'd like you to tell us, your own experience here in Lagos that makes you feel that you are a beneficiary of this inclusive governance.
#1, when a state is, let me correct this impression of if you are not there or if you don't have a position, you talk ill about a system. I'm not one who does that. But I talk good of a system that promotes things that are good, even if me as a person doesn't have a particular position. As an Igbo man, I came to Lagos and I've really done well comparatively to my other counterparts in other states of the Federation. And for a state that have laid down policies that makes it possible for us Igbos who are mainly in commerce, mainly in commerce to thrive, you should give them kudos. We have markets where Igbo people are leaders. You can talk of Alaba market, predominantly Igbos. There are other markets, predominantly Hausas. There are other markets, predominantly Nupes, and so on and so forth. And the government of Lagos State is giving them that ambience, giving them that space to function, irrespective that this is not our place. So you should also give kudos. To me as a person, well, under under the Igbo setting, I'm today the senatorial leader of Ndibu in APC Lagos State, ably led by Engineer Jibo, who has put in much too, in respect to what he has also received from the government to make sure that Ndibu in APC is in the 57 local government of the state. And they are also participating in politics. Some of them are also SSAs, like I say, SAs, councillors, and so on and so forth. So for someone who has had that opportunity to produce this set of people and continue to, I mean, you should give Lagos State and their leaders kudos. They are really progressives. I'll put it in.
Okay, so riding on the point that you have laid, and talking about the enabling ground that the state government has given even to different tribes residing here in Lagos.
Not particularly Igbos.
Particularly Igbos. I love your Ishiagu, by the way.
Thank you very much.
Okay, so inclusivity now has to deal with tribe, gender, you know, youths, people living with disability. So in this regard now, leaving out the ethnic part of it, how well do you think the Lagos State government has done?
You know, most of the times when I come on set and I say things, people say, Prince, you are praising Lagos State too much or so much, or whichever way they want to put it. I say no. You know why? I come from a state. You also come from a state. When you look at what happens in your state, compare it with what happens here, you should be a good judge. Am I saying that? I'll take 2-3 local governments, for example. I'll take Koshife local government. In Koshife local government, the sitting chairman there, Honorable Moyo Ugochukwu Ogunlewe, has fantastically done well by taking care of the elderly, making sure that stipends and things are, you know, given to them monthly from time to time. Some of them are placed on salary, no matter how small. But that shows you that the government in place has them in mind. Go to Koshiche, Bolanle border. That's the same thing. Go to Aboiketu, the same thing. I just want to take a particular local government as an example. So when you look at that, you find out that a government that is doing that compared to governments that are not doing that. Somebody take me up on issue like this. Say, why are you saying? I said, fine. With no apology, but that's just the truth. I come from a local government in a particular state. Let me not just mention that. Okay. But I have a local government chairman here who has tarred 43, 50, 35 roads within a period of 4 years. Do you get that to where you're coming from? The answer may be yes or no.
No.
Today, I'm a member of Lagos State Election Campaign Council 2025. And in one of our discussions, I said, what is our selling point to the people? If you go to Surulere today, go and do your check. You may not find 2 or 3 streets that are not tarred in the whole of Surulere local government. That's an exceptional achievement. You find out also that when you want to campaign, you won't tell them about roads again. So when you look at Lagos State as a state, to me, there are pace setters in all these things you are talking about. Let's be fair. I know they may not have done it fantastically well that everybody will be shouting Uhuru. But when you look at something that has 75%, you should give such a system and a people kudos.
Okay, I like the fact that you've spoken about the Lagos state government glowingly. Now let's talk about the practical realities on the ground. Let's talk about community participation in governance. Do you think the citizens, are truly involved, especially when it comes to budget preparation and project execution? Do you think people in the communities, the rural areas, are duly carried along? Since we're talking about inclusive governance.
Yeah. When I say things, I give example.
Okay.
I will also go back to Kosovo local government.
Okay.
We have about 102 CDCs in Kosovo local government. And during budget presentation and during campaign and during, governance, the local government chairman, I'm being specific, I'm on national TV, Moyo Ogunlewe, visited these communities, collects their needs, ask them to come and make presentation, note down, and I will tell you, 80% of what they presented, go and check, has really been done. So I may not say that in the whole of the 57, because I don't live in the whole of it. I'm talking about what I know.
Okay.
And when I also ask my colleagues in other local governments, it's almost the same. The percentage may not be the same, but you see everything working in that same direction. So that tells you that they are really doing well. To be honest, they need to be encouraged. They are doing well. And if they continue like this, things will go along. Are you aware that in every 2 years or so, the governor asks the local government chairman to give out their scorecards as per how many roads, how many boreholes, transformers, markets, hospitals, schools that you have really, taken care of. And when you see the percentage of works done, I mean, you give these people the kudos that they deserve.
Okay.
All right. In terms of youth participation as well, how open have you, or how would you rate the openness of the state government?
Well, to a very large extent, the population here is much. Lagos State people are talking about 12, 13, 14 million. By my
in Lagos State?
Lagos is over 20 million.
Over 20. It's over 20.
So when you look at that figure, and when you want to aggregate youth, you look at 18 to 45. They're trying, but more work needs to be done.
So what are some of the holes that you have picked, or some of the challenges or barriers that are really hindering the smooth running of an inclusive governance?
Man, as a political animal, man will always ask for more. Like on our own part as the Igbo people now, in the last 2 years, we don't have anybody in government for now, as per the state ESCO that we used to have before. So maybe we can complain that because our people are not there, as per Igbo, maybe some of the things that we think that would have easily been done are not really handled the way it should. So to that extent, some of the groups and organizations that feel that theirs are not closer may feel that they are not getting it the way they're supposed to get it now. But to me, let's be patient. We'll still get there.
Okay. Besides that, any other? Nothing.
Definitely. I don't see, because I don't see.
Okay, still talking about inclusive governance in Lagos. The appointment of women and, of course, people with disabilities is part of what Lagos is known for. But over time, according to your observation, do you think that it is they're just appointed as for symbols, or because they truly represent, a major part of the population of Lagos?
Yes, they are representing a very big percentage of the Lagos population. I will give you an example. If you look at Governor Sanwo-Olu's cabinet, you can count as many women as possible. You also look at the local government chairmen, chairpersons, you can count as many women as possible. The party policy, I think, is 35% for women.
For women, yeah.
So if they've not really, hit that 35%, I think they are close to. Even in this last one now, you find out that in every local government, you see at least 2 women being a councillor,
Or even vice chairman.
vice chairman,
Or even chairman.
or even chairman.
Okay.
So when I'm telling you that Lagos is doing a fantastic job,
Okay,
I know what I'm saying.
we know they're doing a fantastic job. Okay, this appointment of those women or people living, people with disabilities, is it just because, they want to give it to them in order to make them feel as part, or they genuinely make impact in whatever areas, they are put?
Yeah, sis, you see, in politics, there are so many things embedded into it. And there are so many interests a leader has to look at. People with disability, women, the youth, and so on and so forth, are vital component in governance. So you don't just do it because you want to do it for people to see. You do it because they help you a long way in seeing that the job is done. And if you don't recognize such groups, you will see that part of your governance will be what? Lacking. The inclusiveness I'm talking about will no longer be there in a whole.
Okay.
So they are doing it for both sake. Let me put it that way, both sake. For doing it that is supposed to be done, and also an avenue to reach those people so that they will also have people who can talk about their own needs. You get the point now? I'm physically fit, mentally okay. So I may not know the need of those who are not physically fit and mentally okay. So if you have someone from their extract, they will also tell you that these are our needs and these are what we want. And the government will listen to them quicker than when me, who is the person you are looking at now, is telling you that these people need this and
Yeah,
these people need that.
So okay, you know why I'm particular about people with disabilities, because there's a friend, or there's someone I know who said, when I was having this conversation with, and he said, look, Bimpe, they will only give one slot, and that is the Lasoda agency. That the fact that you have people with disabilities does not mean they don't have a brain. The fact that you cannot see does not mean that they cannot think. So they say the position left for people with disabilities is just always so predictable. It's like
Not technical.
yes, it's not technical enough.
They may be right as per their number and per slot that is given to them.
Yes.
But let us also look at it from the normal point of view.
Okay.
It's only one person that will be a chairman in a local government.
Okay.
Am I correct?
Yes.
It's only one person that will be a councillor in a ward. So the numbers of the spaces determines the number that can also be allotted to these groups.
Okay.
So for those that are not physically challenged, we also use that word. For those that are physically challenged, they will also understand that in a local government, because most of the times I tell people that governance is not just about the presidency. The state has a role to play. The local government has a role to play. The wards also have the council have a role to play. So the only thing that we should talk about is telling, as much as the government on top is also reacting to these things, those on the lower cadre should also allocate space. In the local government, you will see also physically challenged that are working there.
Okay.
Okay.
Are you getting the point?
Okay.
They are also in the hospitals, they are also in the courts, they are also in so many areas of governance that may not be pronounced.
Prominent. Okay. Okay.
Okay, so I think it's the follow-up to what we are discussing now. So aside occupying a position, and there is a place for political participation now, government is saying, oh, we are running an inclusive governance. Now there is a place for the people to also want to be involved in governance. So, and we have a lot of people who don't see the need to be involved in it because everybody sees that, oh, it's politics. But then, so what's the thin line between being involved in governance and being a politician? And how important is it for everyone to see the need to be involved?
Yeah, who is this political scientist or something like that said when you refuse to participate in government, participation means going through the process, not only occupying a position. When good people refuse to do that, they allow idiots to rule them. Are you getting the point? So to me, for those of us that are lukewarm, citing one excuse or the other, after all, it's just said, no, you are doing yourself no good. There should be a wholesome participation by those who are holding positions and those who are also not holding positions. Because if you don't say, here I am, nobody says, there you are. So this is how politics works. So individuals, groups, organizations should get involved in politics so that they can also help to shift out those that are not really doing what is expected of them to do and bring in those who will be out to serve. And you cannot do that by sitting idle or by saying, it doesn't concern me.
Okay, let's look at the roles of the community leaders and of course religious leaders. You know, what role do they play in promoting inclusive governance?
A lot. Community leaders, religious leaders, traditional rulers, they have a very big role to play. You know, for a society to thrive, there must be peace. I want you to look at it from that angle.
Okay.
There must be peace for a society to thrive. A society that doesn't have peace will not thrive. So these components helps a lot. Like I'm saying now, if Kosovo local government has a population of, let's say, 300,000 or 400,000 people, how many policemen are there? How many SSS and how many soldiers are there to put law and order? You find out that these organs helps a lot to tame so many things down, to resolve conflicts, and see that there is peace within the community, within the local government, within the state. So government should also, and I think in every local government you see League of Imam, League of Khan, the traditional rulers and so on and so forth, participating in one way or the other. Because if there is an issue between the Igbos and the Hausas, or the Igbos and the Yorubas, or the Igbos and the Nupes, as the case may be, you find out that the first point of call of governance will be to these leaders. What is happening? Your people and these people are having issues. What is the root cause? How can we address it? You see them profiling what? Solution. Okay. So it is a very important...
So, there's a reason why I came up with that question, because was it last week, about 2 weeks ago, there has been a community clash, you know, in Mushin area, which has been, you know, attributed to cultists. And, you know, most of those cultists that were later apprehended were boys within the ages of, were within school age. Okay.
Secondary school.
Yes, secondary school age, yes.
Even those in the primary school.
In the primary school. So when we're talking about inclusive governance here, what role, again, you know, would the community leaders and traditional leaders in that access could have played? And we talk about, you know, the Themes Plus agenda, where Lagos State is talking about education for all. So this inclusive governance, is it truly for all, especially with what happened in Mushin?
You know, the society we have today is not that of yesterdays. Our children now are more, I would say, advanced in so many things than we, their parents.
True.
You'll be surprised to see a 12, 13-year-old boy doing things that you cannot imagine during our own days. So the inclusiveness of these, you know,
The youth
the
population.
youth
Yes.
population, it's important that, I think I was here the other day, I was talking about 8-year-old kids forcing their mate to go inside a mosque to pray. These are Muslim kids forcing a Christian boy. It was in the social media to go to the mosque and pray. Where did he learn it from?
Home.
Either home or the school.
Or the school.
So aside these organs we are talking about, the home sector
Too
also
is very
has
important.
a very important role to play.
All right, still talking about an inclusive governance now. In terms of security, justice, and access to justice, how would you rate the government when you are running an all-inclusive government?
Yeah. Again, I will still praise Lagos State. I'll praise Lagos State as well. Lagos State has what we call public defender. Are you aware?
Yes, the Office of the Public Defender.
Office of the Public Defender. This is let me say, a program set out to take care of those who cannot afford legal fees. And you want to tell me that a government who has taken action in such directions are not doing well? They are.
And it's regardless of where you come from.
Regardless of where you come from. That's whatever I'm saying is regardless of where you come from. There may be little impediments which they are natural things. Are you with me? I know that the way you will understand me now as a Yoruba lady may be quite different from how she will understand me as an Igbo lady. These things are natural, so nobody takes them away. But the overall understanding, perception, and is what we are talking about. That Lagos State is doing well.
And in terms of security?
Yeah, in terms of security, this state is #1 state now. This is a very peaceful state. How many people in the last, let's say the last Sanwo-Olu 6 years, how many bank robbery, how many reprisal attack, how many this and that have you had in Lagos State as it is in, what do you call it, in other states? We were in a senatorial meeting some 3 days ago, and I had one man said, I have moved all my people down to Lagos. MD Yusuf is his name. I've moved them to Lagos. They are schooling here. They are doing everything here because this place is more comfortable than protected than where he comes from. And some of us now from the East too. We do some of our traditional weddings here now because the home state is not as conducive as it is. So I give kudos to Lagos State, who has made it possible for this place to thrive. You may not, you may see me as a praise singer. No, I'm stating facts. And when you go and check, you find out that what I'm saying here, they are facts.
Okay. I'm still particular about the youth because they form about 60% of our population in Nigeria as a whole, and of course in Lagos. Do you think there's still a disconnect between the young people and governance in Lagos, or do you think there is a disconnect between the youth and governance processes in Lagos? And why do you think so? That is, if you agree, why?
Yeah, in this subject now, I will agree with you. There is a very big disconnect. And I want us to look at it from the root. There is disconnect in our families. that is where the whole lot of disconnect starts. There are a lot of disconnects in our schools. We have a lot of disconnect within the social aspect of life. That's why you see a 3-year, 4-year-old kid smoking. He's learning it from somewhere. He's being encouraged by somebody. It is given to him by a human being. So the disconnect is so wide that government needs to do more on that aspect. Maybe starting from giving us, the parents, lecture. You know, they say times are hard. A man leaves the house 6 o'clock in the morning, he comes back 10 o'clock in the evening. What has happened to the home? In some cases, as the father is going out, the mother is also going out. The kids are left on their own. So whatever influence around the place they find themselves, you see them tending towards that. And mostly, naturally, as human beings, you will agree with me that we human, we tend to align to the left more than to the right. So, and the gap is becoming so wide that something drastic needs to be done.
Okay.
The family. Okay. So still talking about an inclusive governance now, there is room for accountability. If the government is running an all-inclusive one, it also gives the people the room to hold the government accountable. And as a political leader in your space, even at the local government level, the CDAs and all that, how do you also ensure that you are holding the government accountable, that some of the inclusive policies that has been, talked about are not just, they don't just remain as slogans, but they, actually mean what they mean what they say, and then do what they promise to do?
Well, that's a very difficult and to handle. But we have to look ahead, do some internal calculations, and at the same time balance it. I'm coming to what I want to say here now is this. A situation where a local government chairman gets an allocation of 600 million a month. There are things in government that they call statutory. When you take those statutories away and you now look at what is remaining, and you begin to evaluate and equate what is remaining to the social amenities that he has provided. You begin as a layman know whether this person is doing well or not. Outside that too, there are checks and balances in governance, both from the local, the state, and the federal. So the only thing we're encouraging are those who are saddled with those responsibilities should do their job of making sure that a local government chairman that receives social fund, a governor that receives social fund, did put those funds in place. If they don't, that is to say, things will not work. That's, you see, where a lot of us are complaining in some states. Because my father will tell you, when someone has done well, you may not even dig so much deep in knowing what he has really used the funds for. But when somebody is not doing well, you begin to question the integrity of that person and how the finances are used. In this dispensation, Aswaju has given the governors more money that they've never seen before.
True.
That's a fact. So as much as we are asking the federal government to do the right thing, we should also hold the states accountable. While the states will also, the local government down the line. It's a collective thing. So those who are saddled with the responsibility of checks and balance, I will encourage them to do their job so that we'll get better results.
Okay, my next question is, is also understanding this inclusive governance, which under the Lagos state government policy, as the extended part of the themes plus agenda, the plus of the themes plus agenda, which includes initiatives like slum improvement plans, and also equipping leaders and agencies with the tools and strategies to achieve sustainable growth and development. From all what I have said now, how much of these has the Lagos state government, improved upon, or of course dwelled on? I'm talking about, let's talk about infrastructure development like slum improvement plans.
In the last dispensation, that is 2019 to 2023, fortunately for me or for us, we had our brother, Engineer Jibokwe, as an essay to drainage and
Water resources.
And I would like you to go and look back within the 4 years that he was there. A lot of improvement was recorded in terms of, creating waterways, improving the slums. If you look at the world statistics of, what do they call it? They say by 2050, Lagos may be under.
God forbid.
God forbid. So, and no, it's not only God forbid. It is something that has been said. It is something that the government is not taking lightly.
Yes.
They are also doing a lot of things to see that things are done to make sure that such will not happen. So I will rate Lagos State. I will rate Lagos State 65% in that agenda that they've really also done well to see that these things mechanisms are put in place to forestall.
Okay. Okay, still talking of infrastructure development, a lot of citizens here, residents in Lagos, have also complained of inner roads not being attended to. Their claim is that, maybe because it is not out there to be seen, and that is why, those roads still remain that way. If we're preaching inclusive governance, why are some places or some roads, inner roads, being left out?
In my earlier, in our earlier discussion, I said something about Surulere local government. Okay. You remember?
Yes.
That I said that Surulere local government, you may not find 2 or 3 or 4 roads that are not tarred. Some of these things are also priority of those in government. And as I earlier said, I said when you go to Koshofi, Koshishere, and Aboiketu, you find out that the chairman there has done 43 roads.
43 inner roads.
Inner roads.
Okay.
Because the local government has saddled with the responsibility of taking care of these inner roads.
Okay.
So a lot of work has been done. Lagos is like Ghana. Lagos is like a country. Let's be honest.
Lagos is a whole country. When you have a population of over 20 million.
So you should know the pressure. And if those who are containing this pressure should be given kudos. You don't compare them to those whom their state is about 5 million or 6 million people. This is 20. So you know that the pressure will be so high. So on the inner roads, these local governments are doing great job. And at the same time, it cannot go around at the same time. Are you getting my point?
Okay.
Yes, and I keep talking about selling point. The selling point of a particular people residing in a particular place may not be the same selling point with a particular people living in another area. Those that their roads have been tarred, will they tell you that they need road tarred again? Maybe they're complaining of transformers or pipe-borne waters. Exactly. So, just on the overall view, much has been done, and they continue to do more. Because I am sure that the chairman we're having now, they're good, they're trying.
Okay. All right. Still talking about the inclusivity framework here in Lagos, in terms of empowerment for the artisans, the traders. You are a leader, So how well would you rate the state government?
Yes. I'll still also hang my appraisal on number.
We should have had an appraisal.
That's how we start ticking the box.
On number, you know, I just said something now. A state that has 220 million people and a state that has 5 million. Maybe the artisans in the 5 million, maybe 500,000. The artisans in 20 million, maybe 4 million. So they are responding to those of us, traders, manufacturers, artisans, and what have you. They are. But because the number is much, the impact may not be widely felt. A local government chairperson that gives out 200 pieces of keke marwa, 5,000 pieces of sewing machine, 5,000 pieces of grinding machine, 5,000 pieces of hairdresser and this and that, put them together, 50,000. In a population of 4 million, you know, it will look as if he has not just done anything.
It's like pin that is
Exactly.
dropped in water.
But in other angle, you will also see that the person is what? Trying.
Trying.
The person, he has kick-started something. It's a process.
Making efforts.
We're making effort. After these 4 years, maybe another person come and add another 100,000. It becomes 150. You add another, it becomes. I was with Commissioner of Women Affairs, and she was talking about the job that they've done, fantastic job that they've done. And when they give you the data of how many people that they've reached, you'll also know that they are doing something reasonable. But because the number, I would like us to take that very serious. The number is huge. Lagos State is like 4 or 5 states by population combined together. So you will also know that for them to do things that are visible, that people can talk about, a lot has gone into it. The only thing with that, we keep saying that, let them continue to do more.
Okay, just before we go, as a politician and social commentator, you've been, full of praises of Lagos State government, especially with inclusive governance. Where do you think, the state government needs to do more in order to promote or show that, inclusive governance has come to stay here in Lagos?
Thank you very much. That's a very fantastic one. Quickly, I will appeal to the government of Lagos State. I will appeal to our able Mr. Celebo, Babajide Sanwo-Olu, to do more in asking for positions for these groups in governance. I will tell you, I started by telling you that Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu lay these foundations.
Yeah.
When you come to a local government, we have councillors. Asiwaju made it in such a way that we have supervisory councillors. We have SA of state level. We have SAs of local government. We have SAs. So these positions were primarily created by Asiwaju to accommodate this inclusiveness we are talking about this morning. That's a very clean truth. So what we are asking now is that our governor, our chairman should implement more, because that helps us, the politicians. It becomes our selling point. Like we are going to have a local government election now. How many Igbo people, how many Ariwa people, how many South, how many North Central, we get these positions within the local governments and the state. An Igbo man would not naturally contest for governorship of this state. Though during military, an Igbo man has been a governor of the state. Are you aware?
You also had the Delta man, Mark Aiwe.
Good. So that's inclusiveness too.
That's inclusiveness, yeah.
Now, when you look at these positions that a great leader has envisioned, create a path so that it will accommodate these people. Because we also, Igbos in Lagos, to be honest, we account for about 32% of the total population of the state. That's a fact. And when you look at our contribution also, it's a fact that should also be recognized. But we are not saying that this is our place, so we came here.
So we don't cause another.
we came,
Another conversation.
We don't cause another. We
that's
don't start
what-
another conversation.
so we came here and they are trying so well and so much to accommodate us. So what I am pleading here now is that more should be done. In this local government election that we are going to have, more spaces more positions should be offered to these, sections and sectors, so that it will be more inclusive than what it has been.
Based on merit.
Based on merit, yes. Like I said now, in the last 2 years, we used to be a member of the cabinet. We are not. So we're also asking the governor to look at that and also do the needful.
Interesting conversation. You have any more questions?
I just want to say, from what he has said now, we at least I've been able to understand that inclusive governance is not just about policies, it's about the people, and it's about Lagos that says, nobody should be left
Out.
behind.
It's a necessity for progress.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Prince Kelvin Nwaoha, for sharing your insight on this topic, Lagos government policy on inclusive governance. Thank you so much. Thank you for your time. The conversation continues after this. Stay with us.